Good afternoon. I am Dr. Anup Kumar Mishra, Associate Professor, Department of Economics, JB PG College, Banaras Hindu University, Varanasi. And today I am going to deliver a lecture regarding the new education policy of 2020, which recently had been accepted by the government of India, and very soon it will be in mainstream of education. So, before starting, I would like to say before you the literal meaning of education. So, the word education has its origin in Latin word educatum. This word is composed of words e and duco, and e implies a progress from inward to outward, while duco means developing or progressing. That means, therefore, education means becoming developed or progressing from inside to outside. So, in this manner, it can be said that education implies some kind of change for the better in person. And because this is a policy of India, so let me remind you the word put by Swami Vivekananda ji. He said that by education, I do not mean the present system, but something in the line of positive teaching. Mere book learning won't do everything. We want education by which character is formed, strength of mind is increased, the intellect is expanded, and by which one can stand on one's own feet. So before focusing on the new education policy, we should know the background and why this education policy came at this venture. Because the English Education Act 1835 was a legislative act of the Council of India at the time of British era, and that gave effect to decision in 1835 by Lord William Bentinck, then Governor General of British East India Company. To reallocate funds it was required by the British Parliament to spend on education and literature in India. And they had not supported tradition of Muslim and Hindu education and the publication of literature in the native learned tongues, that is Sanskrit language. Henceforth, they were to support establishment teaching a Western curriculum with the English as the language of instruction. So this was background, and many have telling that we have now left the Macaulay education system behind and moving towards a new education system. So this was the background of the new education policy, and because the Macaulay removes many doubts at that time, and Macaulay argued that support for the publication of books in Sanskrit and Arabic should be withdrawn. Support of traditional education should be reduced to funding for the madrasa at Delhi and the Hindu college at Banaras only. But students should no longer be paid to study at this establishment. So this was the sayings of Macaulay at that time. And Macaulay used to say that he proposed to replace India's old and ancient education system in India's culture. For if the Indians think that all that is foreign and English is good and greater than their own, and then according to Macaulay, India will lose their self-esteem, their native self-culture, and they will increase what we want them and truly dominated nation. So this was the thinking of Macaulay, and under this our education policy came in this year 2020, and the earlier education policy was first promoted by 1968 by then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, and then second by Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi in 1986, and this is a third major population policy change by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in 2020. Okay, and the new education policy of 1968 called for education spending to increase to 6% of the national income, and also of 86 education policy also expected to expend 6% of GDP on education, and again also this time government said that we will spend 6% of the GDP. So let us hope for the best. So this was the background. Why 2020? Because there were many problems and many hurdles earlier in our education system. Problems insist of lack of infrastructure, poor global ranking of our institutes, poor global ranking of our system of education was fallacy, quality of education was decreased, student stature ratio was low, there was gap between education provided and industry required education. There was gender issues, gross enrollment pattern was not perfect, there was costly higher education, inadequate government funding in the education, and last but not least, adoption of technology is very low. So here I have to say that poverty, accessibility and availability are the major reasons of the schools dropouts in India. And then the hurdles say that the majority of the findings of the studies carried out in the country or in the advanced countries have emphasized that the poor reading ability of the pupils pursuing various courses at primary and secondary schools in the chief reasons of poor examination results and wastage and stagnation thereby. So there was wastage and stagnation problem, and in this new education policy, this all issue had been addressed there. So when we are talking about the new education policy of 2020, let us talk about Atmanirbhar Bharat. This is also just like Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, because in this education policy there is an essence of reform, perform and transform. And then why 2020 is a reform? Because this policy aims at making India a global knowledge superpower. And now HRD minister is to be removed as education minister. And again this policy also said that education sector to get 6% of GDP, and because earlier it was only 1.7%. And reform was based on education and school education and higher education. In school examination, board exams will be low stake and text actual knowledge instead of rote learning. Mother tongue to be medium of instruction till 5th grade. Now this is a reform. Report cards will be comprehensive reports on skills and capabilities instead of just marks and statements. National mission of focus on basic literacy and numeracy curriculum to indicate 21st century skills. Mathematical thinking and scientific temper will be introduced in this new policy. No rigid separation between arts, science, between curricular and extracurricular activities, between vocational and academic streams. So this is a part of reforms in the schooling system. And in higher education Commission of India, HECI, will be set up as the single overcatching umbrella body for entire higher education, excluding medical and legal education. And this HECI to have 4 independent verticals: National Higher Education Regulatory Council for regulation, General Education Council for standard setting, Higher Education Grants Council for funding, and National Accreditation Council for accreditation. So this is the changes in higher education. So there was a rude reform. There is a rude reform in this 2020 policy regarding school. New pedagogical and curriculum structure of school will now remove from 10+2 system to 5+3+3+4 system. That is 3 years in Anganwadi, that is pre-school, and 12 years in school. This is a major reform. Secondary school will be multidisciplinary study, greater critical thinking, flexibility and student choice of subjects. And middle stage will be experimental learning in the science, mathematics, arts, social science, and humanities. So the preparatory stage will be play, discovery, activity based, and interactive classroom learning. Okay, and the foundation one up to second class, up to 5 years, multi-level play or activity based learning will be there. So this is a great reform for school going children that will solve many problems of students as well as parents. So the second is a major reform regarding to our area, that is higher education, that is called as idea reform. Now the undergraduate degree will be of either 3 or 4 year duration with multiple exit option. This is very important. Multiple exit option within this period with appropriate certification, diploma and degree. That is, when anybody will drop from after 1 year, they will get certificate, and anybody will be drop after 2 years, they will get diploma, and full 3 years course will provide as a degree to the students. So the 4-year multidisciplinary bachelor's program, however, shall be the preferred option. And students pursuing 4 years degree programs would have an option of getting a degree with research if the research process is completed in the area of study as specified. So this is also a change. And then IITs, Institute of Technologies, become a multidisciplinary institution, opening doors for humanities students. Even engineering institutions such as IITs will move towards more holistic and multidisciplinary institution with more arts and humanities. Students of arts and humanities will aim to learn more science. So this is also a great change. And then students can choose any set of subjects for higher education and take sabbatical for the other option. So this is a greater choice to be given in this new education policy. There will be performing of the new education policy is based on the quality and digital learning. Okay, so the professional councils such as the Indian Council of Agriculture Research, Veterinary Council of India, National Council of Teacher Education, Council of Architecture, National Council of Vocational Education, etc. This will be professional council, and universities to be named not on the basis of ownership but on quality of education, impetus to multidisciplinary education. Even IITs to move towards a more holistic curriculum with the arts and humanities. So, new education policy aims at setting up the least one large multidisciplinary institution in or near every district by the year 2030. So, the second one important is a dedicated unit of the purpose of orchestrating the building of digital infrastructure, digital content and capacity building will be created in the MHRD to look after the e-education needs of both schools and higher education. So this is two things are very important. And also third is the autonomy and choice. There will be greater autonomy and greater choice. For example, almost according to ministry, there are over 45,000 affiliated colleges in the country. Undergraduate autonomy, academy, administrative and financial autonomy will be given to colleges on the basis of the status of the accreditation, and the best university will be set up to the other countries. That means Indian knowledge system, languages, culture and values to be given focus in this new education policy. Furthermore, technology would be used extensively. So this we have to learn, and then there will be multiple entry and exit programs. Okay, and also e-contents will be provided in regional languages. So this is very much important in this new education policy. And what are the 5 pillars to transform? When I am talking about reform, perform and transform, so there is a 5 pillars to transform. First is experimental learning will include hands-on learning, arts integrated and sports integrated education, storytelling based pedagogy among others as a standard of pedagogy. And classroom transaction will shift towards competency-based learning and education. This is the first pillar, root pillar. And the second pillar is the mandate content will focus on key concepts, ideas, applications, and problem solving. Teaching and learning will be conducted in the more interactive manner. So this is second pillar. Third is curriculum content will be reduced in each subject to its core essentials and make space for critical thinking and more holistic, inquiry based, discovery based, discussion based, and analysis based learning. So this is third pillar of the new education policy to be transform the education system. And fourth is students will get 360-degree holistic report card, okay, which will not only inform about the marks obtained by them in subjects but also their skills and other important points. This is very, very good for the kids and for their parents. And last, fifth pillar is importance of board exams to be reduced. Exams can be conducted twice in a year. So these all are the 5 pillars in this new education policy, dear friends. And there is also an inclusive and welfare approach. That means early childhood and educational curriculum to be carried out by MHRD, WCD, HCFW and Tribal Affairs. And the planning and implementation of early childhood care and education curriculum will be carried out jointly by the Ministry of HRD, Women and Child Development, Health and Family Welfare and Tribal Affairs. So this approach is also given in this system. And second is nutrition and health cards. Regular health checkups for school students will be there. And now along with midday meal, there will be breakfast meal also. And that will focus on the nutrition and health of children will be addressed through healthy meals and regular health checkups and health cards issued to monitor the same. And next, the National Testing Agency will offer a high quality common aptitude test as well as specialized common subject exam in the science, humanities, languages, arts, vocational subjects at least twice every year for universities entrance exams. So this is for the quality improvement, okay. And last will be in order to reduce the importance and stress of board exams, exam will be conducted in 2 parts as I have told you earlier, objective and descriptive, okay. Exams can be conducted twice a year, I have told you, and board exam should promote knowledge application rather than rote learning. So this is inclusive and welfare approach along with qualitative approach in this new education policy. And there is, dear friends, this openness and flexibility also. What is this? 4 years for higher secondary gets lifts up arts, commerce, science removed. Students to choose what they want to choose. Coding to begin from class 6th. Music, arts, sports would be at the same level. And students will be given increased flexibility and choices of subjects to study, particularly in the secondary school, including subjects in physical education, arts, crafts, and vocational skills. There is an enormous openness and flexibility approach in this student. So the new education policy is a good one. We have to compete with the global status because we all know in 2020 the top 3 education system in the world were Finland, Denmark and South Korea, based on the development levels including early childhood enrollment, test scores in math, reading and science in primary and secondary levels, completion rates, higher schools and college graduation and adult literacy rates. With these indicators, these 3 countries are top. So we have to check ourselves within this purview only, okay. And then we have to also check that where is the top universities in the world. We all know that United States is a top overall top ranking with 1.8 million international students, along in which 76% of them Asians. So we have to check that USA, UK, Canada, Germany and Australia is a top 1 universities in the world which produce noble laureates. So we have to focus on research more, we have to focus on qualitative more to compete with these global education systems. So India as a global player earlier jumped 5 ranks in the worldwide education for the future index in 2019 as per a report published by the Economist and Intelligence Unit. So The report analyzes education system from the perspective of skill education in areas such as critical thinking, problem solving, leadership, collaboration, creativity, and entrepreneurship, as well as digital and technical skills. So we scored out of 100, 56.3, and the top rank was at the level of 72 index number. So we have to compete within this rank also, because we have jumped, and with new education policy we will jump more. So dear friends, the methodologies of world ranking is quality index and opportunity index. I am very soon I will tell you that what is quality index. Quality index is public education system, willingness to attend universities, number of research institutions, university funding, endowment, specialization, expertise, industrial linkage, effectiveness, institutional output by research, higher education institutions perform in the various global rankings. And opportunity index includes adult literacy rate, graduation rates, primary school completion rate, secondary school completion rate, higher education completion rates, college level school completion rate, and government expenditure on education total percent of GDP. So we have in India, with this new education policy, we have to check this quality index and opportunity index to compete with the global players. So there are many shortcomings, but here because we have over 1,000 universities with 50 central universities, 402 state universities, 125 deemed universities, 334 private universities, and 7 state legislative act universities, and there are also more than 52,000 colleges in our country, with 67% of rural areas. So we have huge higher education structure. We have to focus each and every aspect within this, and we have to move forward with this new education policy. I personally welcome this new education policy, and we will later on we will discuss for in the other criteria for the value added education. Thank you and take care.